Yeah, I am at Nell's, the Nell's. I am standing on the same floor Biggie Smalls once stood. Oh my God, I'm feeling great. I'm sipping a Long Island, puffing a Newport. And most importantly, the ID I bought last week in the West Village actually worked. I have never seen anything like this. There are VIP tables and champagne bottles and not a white person in the place. And I might add, a fine-looking brother coming my way. What up, shorty? Hey. Damn, girl, what are you? Mulatto. Say what? Mixed. Yeah, I know what you mean. What I can't believe is that you'd refer to yourself in that way. You got absolutely no respect for yourself or anybody else. You just referred to yourself as a mule. No, that's not what I meant. Yeah? Well, that's what mulatto means. It means mule. I feel like everyone in the club is staring at me. God, I didn't think what I said was that wrong. I just liked the way the word sounded. I liked the way the word felt to my tongue. And he was the one that asked the question. He was the one that had to know. Ask a racist question, you're gonna get a racist answer. I mean, what did people want to hear? Later that week, I got really sick. I called the hospital and told them I needed to see a doctor, but didn't have any money. They referred me to a free clinic. I trundled in with a sore throat and a fever. The woman at the desk is looking over the form I just handed her. You didn't check race. My race isn't there. You gotta check one. I'm not just one. You need to put a race. What does it matter? What are you? Mixed. Mixed. I'm black and white. She gives me a look at this point that says no matter what race I am, she thinks I'm stupid. Just check black. But I'm black and white. That means you're black. She can't take it anymore. She grabs the form and checks off black for me. I grab the form from her with a chain pen, frantically mark it out. She stands up. I can't believe it. I've never been so ready to punch someone in my life. And as I'm coming to terms with the fact that I'm about to throw down over what race I really am, I find myself amazed that it has come to this. How can my race matter so much to other people that I'm about to get in a fist fight over it? It hasn't always been like this. At least, not at the very beginning. My parents met in the 70s. They were hippies, all the way hippies. Patchouli wearing, protesting, peace preaching hippies. They are two of the most open-minded people I know. They don't judge people on their class, their sexual preference, or their race. My mom is white. Very white. Like the shade of recycled construction paper. She has green eyes and bright red hair. My dad is black. Like the shade of polished wood. He has kinky black hair and dark brown eyes. But appearance is not where the differences end. My mom is British. She is the oldest of 6. She grew up in England and has a strong English accent. Oh, come on, Sarah. Let's sit down, have a nice cup of tea, read a story before dinner. Come on. My dad is American. He is the only child. He grew up in West Virginia. I've never figured out why he doesn't have an accent, but he doesn't. He doesn't sound like he's from West Virginia, and he doesn't sound black. Hey, Sarah, do you remember this song? Yeah, you used to dance all around to this song. Listen. My mom has been Catholic all her life. My dad became Muslim when I was 10. My mom is super hyper. She always functions on 5 hours of sleep and gets up at 5 in the morning. My dad is super laid back. If he has it his way, he'll sleep until noon with periodic naps throughout the day. The story, as it's been told to me, is as follows. My parents met when my dad was traveling around the world on his bicycle. From Germany, he went to England. He needed a place to stay. He knocked on a door, and my mom answered. They didn't get married right away. My dad continued to travel, but every time he stayed in England, he stayed with my mom. My parents got married in London. To this day, the priest says it's the happiest wedding he ever did. For all their differences, my parents really love each other. I never once heard them fight. That's not to say they don't get mad or annoyed with each other. They do, but it's more like a disagreement. When this happens, Mom will just get on with things and complain to us about what Dad did. But Dad leaves. All my life, if ever they've had one of these disagreements, Dad says he's going to Kmart. And he can be gone for a good many hours. We never know where he really goes. Driving, the gym, or well, who knows? Maybe he really does go to Kmart. Talks out his problems with a guy working in the hardware section. Either way, it's a running joke in our family. Where's Dad? He says he's going to Kmart. My parents never planned to stay in West Virginia. They were going to move there. My dad was going to work for maybe a year. They'd save up some money and move to England. The plan was always to live in England. Well, it's been 30 years. They're still married, and they're still in West Virginia. Growing up, I knew my house wasn't really the same as other kids' houses on the street. I loved this time in my life. There was always music in the house. I was jamming to the Jackson 5 long before I knew who Michael Jackson was. Oh yeah, this was the magical time between birth and 4. Outside with my mom, on the bike with my dad. I couldn't have been happier. I never thought about race. But when I started elementary school, I began to realize my parents were different, and that different meant weird. Not only that, but because my parents were weird, that made me weird. Being weird in elementary school isn't fun. At my school, there were mostly white kids and a few black kids, but no one that looked like me. In grade school, I was made fun of the most. I was the tallest and the skinniest. My voice was low. I had buck teeth. But that was nothing compared to what really set me apart from the others. The thing I was picked on above all else, my hair. I had an afro. A pretty big afro. A huge afro.